Have you ever wondered what happens inside Apple's top secret iPhone factories? The iPhone is one of the most popular phones ever created, with Apple selling millions of them every year. This huge demand means iPhones are manufactured in massive factories around the world, mainly in China. Today we'll take you inside these mega factories to see how the iPhone manufacturing process really works, from parts arriving to boxes going out. Let's peek behind the curtain and explore Apple's sprawling iPhone production empire. The heart of iPhone manufacturing is Foxconn City in Zhengzhou, China. This massive campus is essentially a city entirely devoted to making iPhones, with over 300,000 workers. To envision the scale, this one facility can produce over 500,000 iPhones per day. Foxconn City has been making iPhones for over a decade. Parts and components arrive from suppliers across China and the world. They move through multiple factories where tens of thousands work on the assembly lines, piecing together each iPhone by hand. The process is highly coordinated, with each step optimized for efficiency. After assembly, the finished iPhones are packaged up and shipped out to distributors globally. It's like a miniature city, with workers commuting in each day, eating in cafeterias, and even living in dorms on site. For many migrant workers, Foxconn City provides steady jobs and incomes they can send back to their families. For Apple, centralized iPhone manufacturing at Foxconn City has been a boon. The scale cuts cost through bulk purchasing and pooled labor. Having multiple assembly lines in one place allows flexibility to ramp up production for new launches. This helps Apple save billions versus manufacturing in higher-cost regions. Foxconn City lets Apple perfectly coordinate the complex iPhone supply chain from parts to retail, but concentrated production comes with risks, like worker unrest that could shut down lines and cost Apple millions per day. As challenges emerge, Apple has begun looking beyond China for its next phase of iPhone manufacturing. As Apple looks beyond China, India has emerged as the next frontier for iPhone manufacturing. Apple is proactively diversifying production outside of China for several strategic reasons. Rising labor costs in China's developed urban centers are eating into Apple's profit margins. Wages in India remain comparatively low, maximizing efficiency. Political tensions between China and the US introduce uncertainty and risk that concerns Apple. Over-reliance on one country could leave Apple vulnerable. Finally, concentrated iPhone production in just a handful of Chinese factories risks shutdowns from worker unrest and strikes, costing Apple millions per day in lost production. To tap into India's huge workforce and mitigate these risks, Apple is partnering with Foxconn to set up a massive new iPhone factory city in Karnataka, India. They have already purchased over 300 acres of land for this ambitious project. The new iPhone campus in India is projected to employ up to 100,000 workers when fully operational. The long-term vision mirrors Foxconn City in China on a smaller scale. Dormitories, restaurants, shops, and amenities will support an army of workers doing iPhone production and assembly. For India, this represents a watershed investment and jobs creator. Tens of thousands will find stable employment on production lines and facilities roles like kitchen staff, cleaners, and security guards. Workers will have money to spend at local businesses around the campus. Just like in China, the scale of centralized production can cut costs for Apple substantially. With on-site dorms and facilities, Apple can control more aspects of iPhone manufacturing. Optimized assembly lines and pooled labor will crank out iPhones efficiently. Scale purchasing of components and materials will also lower costs. This campus could save Apple billions versus smaller disparate factories. Over time, Apple hopes to scale iPhone production in India to rival China. While it may lack the size and sophistication of Foxconn City today, the potential is there. Building this iPhone ecosystem from the ground up gives Apple more direct oversight in designing the ultimate manufacturing machine. Localization also avoids import duties, further boosting savings. But a mega factory in India won't eliminate all risks. Apple will need to lobby for special tax concessions from the Indian government. Complex cultural and language barriers will require nuanced management, and managing hundreds of thousands of workers in this new complex will test Apple's ability to run a harmonious iPhone city abroad. But if successful, it could write the blueprint for the future. While mega factories like Foxconn City dominate headlines, it's important to note Apple uses a diverse network of manufacturing partners around the world. iPhones aren't just assembled in China and India. Major iPhone assembly takes place across Asia, including Taiwan, Singapore, Korea, and Japan, though the latter two focus more on older models. In the Americas, Brazil produces iPhones for their domestic market within South America. Europe is home to facilities in Italy that handle final iPhone assembly and quality control processes. And India has some assembly beyond the upcoming new campus in Karnataka, but the vast majority of individual iPhone parts don't actually get made at these famous assembly factories. The components inside an iPhone come from a truly global supply chain. The all-important A-series chips and processors are built by TSMC based in Taiwan, using cutting-edge techniques. Samsung and LG in Korea supply many displays and advanced screens. Japanese companies are leaders in camera, sensor, and optical technologies found in iPhones. Across Asia, makers design and produce the intricate circuitry that gives iPhones their intelligence. The raw materials like rare earth metals for magnets, cobalt for batteries, and aluminum for the chassis and bodies come from mines in Africa and beyond. High-end glass for screens and panels comes from manufacturers in the United States. And key iPhone technologies come from Europe, like the 5G antennas from Germany. So in reality, every new iPhone has parts originating from all corners of the world. This complex symphony of global suppliers sends components to centralized assembly plants for the final production phase. The process combines high-tech robotics with skilled human labor. Specialized factories have customized workflows to turn these parts into finished iPhones as efficiently as possible. This distributed model allows Apple to source components, labor, and expertise from the best providers globally. Apple has crafted an unparalleled system to procure parts and technologies from leading suppliers everywhere. But even massive new campuses can't completely own the entire manufacturing process themselves. The logistics of a globally dispersed supply chain prevents it from ever being fully centralized in one place. So while megafactories play a major role, they are still just one part of the intricate and expansive machine that is the iPhone production ecosystem. It's a testament to Apple's unmatched operational excellence. As we've seen, Apple is actively diversifying iPhone production beyond China, their longtime manufacturing hub. India is next in line to host a massive new iPhone factory city. This global expansion will help mitigate the risks of concentrating too much in one country. Mass strikes and unrest could again disrupt production, costing Apple millions. And political tensions between the US and China add uncertainty. To further reduce reliance on human workers, robots and automation will play an increasing role. Apple has already invested heavily in sophisticated production robots. Self-driving forklifts shuttle parts between stations, robotic arms handle delicate components. Apple is automating more iPhone assembly with robots and AI, but human precision and skills are still needed. As demand rises globally, Apple's vast manufacturing empire expands to new countries, pursuing endless iPhone production innovations. As we've seen, Apple's sprawling iPhone production empire is only growing more vast and complex. From the mega factories in China to expansion in India, Apple's manufacturing innovations seem limitless. What do you think is the most impressive part of how iPhones are made? Let me know in the comments! And don't forget to like and subscribe to Luxury Planet for more videos.